What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. It's me and my guy Clayton this weekend. Everybody else, I don't know what everybody else is doing. I think what Jim said he got family over for the weekend. I don't know what Tunk said he was doing though. And I ain't
No,
talking.
Tunk got called to duty. He got called to duty,
Okay.
didn't
Yeah, probably so. And I was just checking to make sure that volume is good, man. But yeah, man.
he?
That
Man,
those two games yesterday, those two Final Four games, in my opinion, man, they were some good games.
I
Really good
think
games.
I think Texas and South Carolina was a good game. UCLA
Yeah,
got walked. They got walked. They got blown
yeah,
out.
yeah. But from the standpoint of now, I say UConn and UCLA, I thought it was a good game too, because from the standpoint of game planning, as far as coaching, I thought like before that game even started, I was talking to Mikey and we were saying that UConn needs to pressure that ball and not allow that entry pass down there to be so easy. And so he did that. Also, I said that UConn need to not double team the young lady Betts down there. And he also, you know what I mean, he did that. Well, sometimes when they was in the zone, they collapsed.
They collapsed a couple
Yeah,
times.
they
Yeah, they
collapsed.
collapsed. Mm-hmm.
One-on-one, number 8, the young lady number 8 for UConn held her own early in that game against Lauren Betts. She was able to play her physical and root her out of there a few times. She wasn't as deep as she's used to being in that paint, you know. Yeah, so
I seen a different perspective from that. Like, to me, she was deep. To me, she had a hell of a game. To me, UConn won the game with their perimeter players. Sarah Strong, 22 points.
yeah,
Ozzie
but
Fudd, 19 points. Paige Becker, 16 points. To me, I don't see where they shot on
you
that.
quoting totals though. You quoting totals, and so I'm talking
I
about like
saw the game.
yeah, but I mean like at the
Everything
beginning
Bet
of the
scored.
game. Go ahead.
They were shooting threes. The girl came out firing. Sarah Strong from three. Ozzie Fudd came out firing from three.
Yeah,
They beat him on the perimeter.
yeah. But she wasn't as dominant in that paint as she, you know what I mean, as she was earlier throughout like that tournament.
So how would you define dominant? If you
Well,
go 11
dominant
for
is
18, you score 26 points. How do you define dominant?
well, it depends on when those points come. You see, you talk about
Because
total
they
points, you
lost,
talk
she
about like
wasn't done.
when the points came though.
But
I mean,
yeah, they came in the paint. She scored their first few points of the game.
No. I'm
Yes.
saying the points came like towards like when the game was already out of control and the game was like it was already.
No, that wasn't true. That's not true, Mike.
It was never close.
It wasn't close, but her points didn't come at the end of the game. She scored all throughout the game.
When they was
She
up
was the
28,
one mainstay,
right?
huh?
So they was up 28-14, right? I don't
Okay,
let me I want to break her points down like Lauren Betts points by a quarter
okay. Break it down.
because it matters when her points came. Because at the beginning of the game, Lauren Betts, when they was trying to get the ball to her, like I said, number 8 had pushed her a little bit further out. She used to being directly under that board. Let me see if I can get up her stats by a quarter because she was so
What
used.
I watched, she was deep in the post. She was around the basket. She was scoring with the left. She was scoring with the right, mainly with the left. She was, to me, I don't understand that. I mean, I know you want to make it be that they got shut her down because they lost, but they didn't. They
No,
lost because the other
I'm
players didn't
telling
show
you.
up.
So you and that's you telling me that young lady number 8, Mike, what's number 8 name for UConn? El Afi, yeah. So what do you think about the job El Afi did against Lauren Betts?
She did the best she could, but I mean, Lauren Betts shot 11 for 18 from the field.
Yeah. What's good, Tunk? What's good, Jack?
What's up, man? He gone.
Yeah, he gone. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
thought that, yeah, like out of the gate. I mean, the game wasn't even close, Jack.
It wasn't. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I'm just saying, I'm not going to put that like UConn shut that girl down. UConn outplayed UCLA, and the game was won because the perimeter players outplayed UCLA perimeter players.
What's good, Tom?
What's happening, gentlemen? What's
What's
good?
up, man? What's going
Hey,
on, man?
I try to tune in, man, in between runs, man. I try to tune in, man. Check in with the guys, man. How y'all feel?
Oh, feeling good, man.
Hey,
Awesome.
was you able to catch that game yesterday, Tom?
No, I wasn't able to catch
The final
because
score?
I worked yesterday as well, so I wasn't able to catch nothing.
Oh, all right, all right.
But I saw that UConn they ran
Yeah,
away from UCLA. Yeah, they
they
ran away
ran away
from
from. Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they
But
did.
man, I don't know if y'all touched on this, man. If y'all did, I apologize, man. Y'all see that with Ja Morant, man? Y'all see that with him, man?
We just started, so we ain't touched on
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. But I mean, we could go there because I do want to talk about Ja Morant, and I also want to talk about Anthony Edwards too, right? So
Okay.
let's start off with Ja Morant, right? And so Ja Morant against what's the team? Golden State gave up the little gun sign or the shotgun sign, and with his history, his track record and everything, he running up and down the court giving the shotgun sign. Did he get a technical foul for that?
I'm not sure. He did it. Wiggins did it first to him. He did it back.
Oh, okay.
They was trying to say it was the Curry. No, that wasn't the Curry. That was he did that to the team bench, but it was Wiggins who did it first.
Well,
And then they supposed to talk to him, and he did it right. He did it again.
The next game.
Yeah, Mike. They say right out the gate, like 5 minutes into the game, he did it.
Yeah, I don't get his logic for especially knowing that they on him for that type of thing. Like the image that he presenting. I don't get his logic doing that. If he's trying to if it's about like some type of freedom of speech or freedom of expression, I think it's more like important issues that he could, you know what I mean? If he want to go that route, it's more important issues that he could stand for rather than to be he want to give the shotgun sign.
I think it was silly for the NBA to give him a warning for doing it. That was silly to me.
What you think?
Everybody in the league makes these gestures after they shoot because he had his incident or whatever. I get it, but to warn him, don't do it again. Now you trying to exclude him from everybody else. If you don't want to be a part of your league, you got to ban it league wide. But everybody does these things.
Right. Yeah. A lot
So
of people.
because he got in trouble, now you want to give him a warning. That's silly to me. So I think he was pushing back against that warning. Like, F it. Find me. Do whatever. Because that's crazy. Just ban it. Just ban it world league wide.
That would make more sense to ban it and then see what happens is, like you said, well, everybody else doing it. And then, and so he got that to stand back, to fall back on the fact that, well, how come I can't, you know what I mean? I can't do it. Everybody else can give the gun sign.
Right.
Well, I think it's because he got in trouble off the court twice.
Yeah.
And they talked about him before. They talked to him about it before. I think that's why. And they fined him $75,000. You know. But I don't know, man. I mean, we older cats, man, so we don't really see, you know what I mean, that is being worth it. But a lot of guys are anti-establishment, so maybe that's what it is as well. That's the pushback against it. Now, switching over to your man Anthony Edwards, right? That sister came forward and said he ain't pay no one lump sum.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came forward and said that he ain't pay no one lump sum. So she's like, I don't know where anybody got that from.
Well, I just think that the whole situation, because she had some audio. I had an audio of her, and she was saying that people coming out and calling her a gold digger, right? And that she having babies for money. And then so she said that just because she's attractive and she got a nice body, that people said she a gold digger, she having babies for money, and she said something about women having what she said about women, other women having babies for like earned income credit or Section 8 and stuff like that. So my whole point with that is she, you know what I mean, whether she realized it or not, she in the same boat as women who are like the Section 8 women, the earned income credit women, because she really is having babies for money. And if she think about it, she put herself in that same boat. She think because she get a little bit more money that she not in the
I'm
same
about
boat.
to say that. Yeah, I think because her check is a little bigger. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man, because I think her lawyers would push back against him paying it all up front. I'm talking about to her. They would advise her not to do it because his earning potential, you know what I'm saying, can go up.
Change.
Yeah, exactly. And they say that I ain't gonna say only, but they say they averaged out to be $5,000 a month. You know them sisters getting way more than $5,000 a month, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, when she said that, I was when I first heard it, I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? He got her to agree with that. You know what I'm saying? He got her to agree with that. So I'm like, yeah, so I don't know. But she said it didn't happen. She said it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was thinking too. It's not a good idea for her to accept that money anyway.
Right.
She would never be able to come back to the table.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you said, $5,000 a month. Like, what kind of education is this kid gonna get?
Right.
You know, and then when you think about it, even like the lifestyle, because let's face it, she gonna live off of that money too.
Oh yeah, that'll be gone by Easter. You know what I mean? That'll be gone by Easter. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So reportedly, what was it he was supposed to have given her that she's saying he didn't get? How much was it?
Was it 1.8?
No, it wasn't that much, Mike. It was like 1,018,000, something like that.
Oh, wow.
1,180,000, something like that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Because that supposed to been, until the kid hit 18. But some states, if the kid go to college, you gotta
extend
pay for that too and things like that. So I don't know. And if she really wanted to secure the bag, I don't think she'd have did that.
Yeah.
The whole main reason was getting that bag. That ain't on it.
Yeah, that's not a good deal for her. If she, like you said, she want to secure that bag. I don't think
How do you guys feel about money for the child per, the women living off the money?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a thought about it. I'm like some men be like they want their money to be accounted for, right? They want to know like every cent that they give gotta go to the kid, right? But I think that like if you give a woman child support for the kid and she's managing a household, then as a man, you may not like the way she spent it, but she managing her household. You know what I mean? With that money that you're giving her.
No, I meant as far as judges ruling on the amount. Do you think that what should be taken into account is what the child actually needs and some of the things the child can have, the wants, as opposed to money for the woman to live off it as well, like the way the judges rule on the amount?
Yeah, well, it varies from state to state. Remember, this young lady tried to file in California, where in California, like she would have got more money.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, how do you feel about that? Like,
I don't know how I feel about.
I'm kind of. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. Us as men, man, we gotta do a better job at, man. You know what I'm saying? Who we create babies with, we gotta understand that. Anthony Evans, he's still a young dude, man, and she an older sister. She older than him.
Yeah.
Because I'm messing with that 28. And
I think that I don't know, like how you feel about it.
I've been through it. I'm good with however way it go. I was just curious, like, because a lot of people will say, well, does the kid really need this much money to live, you know, and stuff like that. And then these women get put in these categories. They're trying to do it, you know, they gold diggers, they're trying to make a come up off the child, all this kind of things. And then the way the system, the justice system seems to be skewed in a way a little bit. I was just curious if you guys had any kind of, you know, feeling or opinion about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I just think from state to state, it varies on like, and then sometimes they take into account like what the like the lifestyle of the woman and the you know what I mean, like the lifestyle that these people, especially if they've been together for a while, like what lifestyle, you know, and do you want to live that same lifestyle?
And I can understand that when you've been married, y'all in a relationship, and now you separate, and that you got accustomed to a lifestyle. But from this situation, they were never together, were they?
No, no, not like
yeah,
that.
I'm just
yeah. But then they take into account like how much he make. That's why
I get that.
That's why I was like $1 million. I thought it was like $1.8 million, right? But Tunk said it was less than that. And even $1.8 million over 18 years.
It's not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money. You know what I mean? And then so $1.8 million over 18 years, and then she want to criticize like women who are on Section 8 and women who are you know, women who don't get that kind of money when she, you know, hopefully her lawyers will talk to her and tell her that that's not a good idea, especially if you want to provide a good education. And so, you know, I don't know.
Does it change how you view, like, do you have an opinion on Anthony Edwards now because of this? Like,
well, yeah, I think this situation make Anthony Edwards and her look, it just make them not look really good, right? So Anthony Edwards is like, he made a mistake, and his mistake caused a baby to be born, and so he just wanted to be able to throw money at it and the problem go away. So that's not a good look for him. You know what I mean? So it's not a good look for him, and it makes her look like, whether she want to accept it or not, it makes her look like she's having a baby so she can have an easier life. You know, and so yeah, it's not a good look for neither one of them.
You know, I find interesting is that even in this controversy, he hasn't lost his sponsorship deals or anything.
Yeah. Well, I think because like having, you know, like people having babies out of wedlock and stuff like that, or having baby mothers and stuff like that, that's the norm now. You know what I mean? We got a president that have babies, but like he got like 3 different women. You know what I mean? So that's not the issue. It's not what you do. I guess it's how you do it. Yeah,
and there's been some controversy around some of the statements he's made. Fighting out on this whole kid thing, stuff like that. I'm just, you know, I'm saying in the midst of all that, you know, he hasn't lost any, you know, sponsorship deals and stuff. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
What I just found out, I was just looking at, I just saw another video. They said he signed an extension, and like the young lady, and it might be a situation where the young lady that he's with now don't want him to have anything to do with this baby. But that can play into it too.
And that's tough. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I won't speculate on that, but that's tough. If this is child and he don't want to have anything to do because the girl he's with don't want him to have, she's very insecure, and she's got some things. She's got some self-reflection to do within herself, and then I will start questioning: is this the woman I want to share my life with?
Yeah.
Most women want you to be in your child's life.
They want you to take care of your kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you show that you had a propensity to not take care of your kids and to drop and run, then be like, well, what's to say that he won't do that with Al? You know what I mean? If I have, you know, if they have another kid together, so but.
And then it depends on the type of character and the man. The man's character you're looking for is a woman. You know, all these things kind of give you an indication of who this person is, not judging it one way or the other. It's just to identify so you know if it aligns with your values or not. You know what I'm saying? So,
but see, everybody don't look at it like that. She could be looking at it like from a territorial type situation. You know what I mean? Like she don't want anybody to impede on her territory or put a and come in between her and Anthony Edwards for right
Yeah, and
now.
that's an insecure woman. She's very insecure. Not
Yeah.
judging, I'm just saying that's an indicator that she's very insecure. So me as a man, I'm looking at a woman like that, if Anthony Edwards wants to be in the child's life and he's not doing it because she doesn't want him to, so I have to look at that like her, like she's not aligned with my values.
But what kind of values though? If he's what kind of values do he have too though? You know what I mean?
Well, I was just going by what you're saying that it could be that she don't want
Right,
him.
yeah. But
So that means if she don't want him, then he may want to. I'm just going off that conversation.
But if you take all three of them, these kind of people find each other though.
What kind of people?
The people are somebody who would just throw money at you just to you and your baby to get them out of their life. Because number one, if she's a gold digger, she's going to find the kind of guys that is going to throw money at her to get her out of his life. He is somebody who he found a woman who is a gold digger because you know what I mean, and he found another woman who is insecure. So all of these people, they with each other for a reason. They found each other. You know what I mean? They fit into each other.
Yeah.
Their character.
Absolutely. I'm not saying he did. I was going off you saying that the woman didn't want him to be a part. And I'm saying if he did and she don't want him to, that doesn't allow him his value. I think the whole situation is showing you exactly who he is. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I was going off that earlier statement that it could be that the woman he's with don't want him to be in the child's life. That's what I was going off that. Yeah. And if that's the case, you have to evaluate that person that's with you. That's all I was saying. But I think the whole thing, absolutely, you draw yourself to yourself. It ain't no doubt about it.
So yeah, I think it's a reflection of everybody involved in that situation.
Absolutely.
And the fact that Anthony Edwards, like he signed a deal, an extension, and they said he gave her, the young lady that he's with now, he gave her the signing bonus. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear any. No, I'm just hearing about this now. What you telling me now about what Tunk said about it? She come out saying he didn't give all that. I'm just hearing about this stuff.
Yeah.
So you schooling me.
Yeah. So I'm, that's why I said the whole situation to me is just ugly. And it just make all parties involved just make them look like they it's not a good look for none of them. Any of them. Not a good look at all. So
yeah, I try to refrain from judging a situation or their situation and stuff like that because I don't know.
The way I look at it, my purpose for looking at these kind of situations, because whether you think you're judging or not, people can learn from these different situations. You know what I mean? Like we can look at what other people go through and just try to evaluate it and just, you learn from that.
But to say it's not a good look is something different. When you learn it from something, you learn a valuable lesson from it, and you wouldn't put a label on it that it's not a good look. You would just pretty much learn the lesson from it and evaluate yourself. I don't want to be in a situation like that, so I'm gonna learn from that situation. But to say it's not a good look, now you're assessing the situation.
Well, yeah. And I don't think it's nothing wrong with assessing a situation, like I said, because I think that, all right, if you say, all right, well, this is not something that I would choose to do.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say it's not a good look. So, all right, I would not, like when I say I would not choose to throw money at at this situation and not accept the responsibility or accept the fact that I made a mistake. So yeah, for me, that's not a good look.
All right. So what do you mean by not a good look? A good look in terms of what?
Publicly,
like who's looking at it? Like, why isn't it a good look?
Publicly, like when you throw money at, like, all right, you offer a young lady, you sleep with a young lady, right? And you say, all right, she get pregnant. And now she have a baby, like, man, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want nothing to do with the baby. How much y'all want just to go away? So I'm thinking that, I'm thinking that, all right, I'm gonna give you this check, and I want you and the baby to go away. I just don't think that that's really, you know, a good look, a good stance to take public. It makes you look cold,
publicly, right?
callous,
That's what I'm
you know what I
saying.
mean? Yeah.
And
So
that's what I mean by judging it. Like, so the public is judging your situation. It's not a good look for you make a public stance and stuff. And I was just saying, there's nothing wrong with that if you want to choose to judge it. That's how you see it. I'm just saying, I'm not a person that can make a judgment or, you know, on somebody else's situation like that. I refrain from stuff like that because life is life into me, you know, and yeah, I'm not a moral authority to kind of say,
yeah,
you know, his shit is, it's a bad look for him and her, and they living life, man.
yeah,
You know, so you know, I don't know, but it's
yeah,
just hard for me. Yeah, it's hard for me to judge his personal situation like that. You know.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you see somebody stick their hand in the fire, and then you be like, oh no, that's not a good look. I don't want to judge them. You know what I mean? I mean,
No,
to me, it's
I
about the
might,
same thing.
no, I might try to stop him from doing it,
You
but I'm
don't
not
have
going to judge
opportunity.
him once he do it.
You don't
That's
have the
why,
opportunity to stop them. You don't know them.
huh?
You can't learn. You don't know that person. So how you have the opportunity to stop them?
Well, you saying if I see somebody stick their hand in the fire, I'm assuming I'm standing there watching him stick his hand in the fire.
No. You see what Anthony Edwards is doing publicly, so you're not standing, but you're not standing there with
No,
him.
because I know life is going to teach him something. I know all the stuff that he's doing is taking them and leading them somewhere else.
Yeah, but that's not.
I don't stand in the way of people's life lessons that they need to learn, and I don't judge them because I believe that everything is taking you to a higher sense of consciousness and growth and all this stuff.
Yeah.
To me, once you find happiness, you won't regret anything you've done.
Yeah.
But if you don't have happiness, then you can regret the things you've done. Once you get to a certain place, you realize every single thing you did was necessary. So I don't judge it. Like, I can't judge him and say it's a bad look. I believe it's a necessary look, or it's a necessary thing for him to go through at this stage of his life.
Well, I don't know. He may learn from this mistake. You know what I mean? He may be able to see the error, or he might not. I don't know. But I'm
Well,
just saying, you know,
it's going to be hard for us to say he didn't learn or he did learn. I
that's
just know it's
I
necessary.
say he may learn, he may not, or he may think that he may not even see what he did as a mistake.
And he may not.
Yeah, he may not
A
even.
child is born. A child came into this world.
Yeah.
You know. But I hear you. I'm just.
Yeah, I would like to. I just think that most people, you know, looking at this type of situation, were like, wow, man, you know, somebody offer somebody some money just to go away. Yeah.
He won't be the first or the last. And some of them people that's sitting back judging the situation is probably done worse.
Yeah, or done the same. I don't know. Yeah, but you know, like I said, my point is to my point is just to like I said, when I look at different situations, you know, because sometimes I think it's important to learn through not just through your own experiences, but sometimes you can learn through other people's experiences as well. Let me see. As elders, we have to understand some consequences, but sometimes we have to let youngsters make the mistake and the choices to learn from consequences. I mean, you don't have an option, really. You know what I mean? People going to make their mistakes and they're going to learn from them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. My man Anthony Edwards, he going through it.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him that he going through it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm actually happy for him.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm happy for him, man. Because I know he's gonna get something out of it. So
yeah, I mean, he might learn from it, or not. I don't want to say learn. He may choose to move differently the next time, you know. So maybe that, or maybe somebody else will see what he's going through, and they will choose to take a different route other than what he's taking. You know, like we said before, when they give symposiums for NFL athletes, and they give symposiums for NBA athletes, and they, you know, these kind of situations that they kind of counsel you against, right?
Yep.
And so, you know,
and then with all that effort they put forward in doing this, people still got to live their path. You can try to prevent this. You can give symposiums. You can lecture. You can do this, that, and the other. But people are going to live the life that's laid out for them, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff is not stopping these youngsters from doing some of the things they do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, so I get it. And I think it's admirable to do the symposiums. Don't get me wrong. And I think it's great to try to advise the youngsters because it's coming from a good place. But, you know, at some point we have to understand that, you know, there's certain things people are going to do in life because it's for them to do it, because that's going to give them more than any words that I can muster up.
Yeah.
You know? That's and as far as Ja Morant go, man, that's just, I'm sick. Yeah, that whole situation, the NBA warnings, all that stuff, man. It's like, I don't know, everything except the basketball. This guy come down the other night, hit a game-winning shot, but all they want to talk about is this gun thing that everybody do in the league.
Yeah. I don't know why they shouldn't, like you said, either ban everybody in the league from doing it.
Yep.
And then that, you know.
Yep.
Just ban everybody in the league from doing it.
Because I could care less he doing that. They know it's no ill intent. It ain't like, you know what I mean? They know he ain't. I don't know.
I don't have a problem with nobody doing it in the league, whether it's, you know.
This is what they do. Yeah. You can look at him, and that just gives the public, the general public, the online content creators, the media people, that gives them something to talk about him and to say some negative things about him and to judge him. Mm-hmm. That's all it does. Gives them more fodder for that. Yeah. You know, Ja Morant stupid. They warned him why he ain't just, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. So I get it. You know, that's what's pushing the algorithm.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. Anyway.
But what do you think, though? Do you think that Ja Morant should he continue to do that, or should he just leave it alone? Like, is that a hill that would you advise? Like, man, is that a hill that you, with all this, you know, is that the hill, or that's the stance you want to take, or that's the issue you want to, you know, go at?
I mean, of course, if I'm his dad, because his dad is close and in his circle, of course, I'm like, all right, man, let's just find something else to do. But then at the same token, you send a message of capitulating to something that's, you know, singling you out, you know. So, and then you got to think too, some of this rebellious spirit in him is what makes him a great basketball player. So I don't know how much taming down I want to do to the kid. So I don't know, Mike. That's a tough thing. I'm not close enough to him to really make that determination. You know, I want if I'm in the circle, of course, I want what's best for him. But I don't know if it's best for him to tame down his rebellious nature, because that might be playing a part in his basketball, the way he attacked the game and how good he plays. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, I think he could have. There's other ways to like express your rebellious nature. You know what I mean? You got a prison full of guys. I mean, prison full of rebellious people. You know, so, but you ain't nothing wrong with being rebellious. It just depends on the act in itself, and then like, are you willing to live with the consequences? You know, is it worth it? Basically, like, you know, the consequences.
Right. So but I mean,
though he wanted, you know,
but making these gestures after he make a basket ain't gonna land him in prison. So
no, but I mean, you missed my point, though.
What's the point?
The point is you know what I mean? Like, there's a rebellious streak in everybody, you know what I mean? And so, like I said, my point is, like, the consequences that come from being rebellious, you know, is that the stance or that's the hill basically that you want to die on?
He may not be able to play basketball without a rebellious nature.
Everybody's rebellious, though.
Everybody's not rebellious.
Yeah.
And to think that you can turn it on and off, you know, I can do it here and do it there. Yeah, that's a little bit misguided in a sense. That's part of his spirit, you know, and that's what makes him play the game the way he plays it. You know what I'm saying? So Everybody's not rebellious.
So no, yeah, most people have a rebellious streak. I mean, it's part of growing up and getting older. But the thing is, though, you want to be able to control your emotions. You want to be able to control your actions. You know, you need to develop self-control too with that rebellion, and you need to make that rebelliousness work in your behalf.
He has. He made it to the NBA. He
Yeah,
has. He made it to the NBA, and everybody's not rebellious. Some people's nature is to conform and to go along to get along.
Yeah, but so if this is his rebelliousness, if this is the way he's showing his rebelliousness, then I think that you know, if long as he's willing to stand on it, then you know, that's up to him.
Well, I guess he was showing the league and everybody watching.
Yeah,
he was willing to stand on it because they told him don't do it, and he did it anyway.
Yeah,
but this is the thing: that rebellious spirit expresses itself, and it manifests itself through so many different mediums. Sometimes we think we can control it when we don't. It expresses when it wants to express itself, and it's going to come out. And to me, it benefited him a great deal because he's a great basketball player. You know, you can't, you know, part of you and who you are, when it comes across certain chemistry, certain things get presented to it, it's coming out. You don't get to choose it. It comes out. You know, I don't think he's rebellious to the point where, I don't know the kid, but I don't think he's going to be out in the street shooting at people, even with the 2 incidents that he had. I just think that was a whole, I don't know him, but I think that was just part of the whole imagery and the hip hop, you know, and you know what I'm saying, all that thug stuff. I don't know if that's who this kid is, because I think if this who this kid is, he may have had some incidents before and may not have never made it to the NBA. So I don't know. I think the rebellious spirit is serving him well.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
Well, I want to I'll just see how far he carried this thing with this. You know,
well, yeah, I don't know. $75,000. We're gonna see how much of a impact that made on him. Yeah,
how strong he feels about being able to give this those gestures on the court. I want to see, and also I want to test. Yeah, I want to see what the resolve is for the NBA. Like how do you know what I mean? Like what is their resolve? Like who's going to blink first?
I want to know if he can file a grievance against them since they singling them out, because if you telling me I can't do it, but then other players are doing it, that's got to be something. It's got to be something there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's got to be something there.
Yeah. And then all right. So let's look at this. All right. So say certain things that he'll be able to do, like that right there is leverage. That leaning towards him, right? That gives him more leverage because other players, you run the risk of singling him out. You know, all right. And so when you have leverage on one end, that's going to kind of put the NBA in a position where, all right, we're going to find another way to show him. You know, so I mean that could open up a whole nother can of worms. So that's something that he has to consider too, or maybe he not. I just.
Yeah, I mean, but it's got to be something there for you to really attack them on within your rule books, within your the terms of your contract, the language in terms of letting you back into the league from suspension. You got to look at the language and all that stuff, you know. So, you know, they can try. It may be something they can, but here again, you know, and you got to put some type of language in place, man, to say that I can't do what everybody else is doing.
Well, Well, that's what I'm saying, though. They may not take that route. They may find other ways to, to get back at him.
Well, they just fined him $75,000.
Right.
They just gave him a warning, but yet other people can do it.
Yeah. So I want to see how, like I said, who's going to blink first, whether it be him or the NBA.
The only reason I think Adam Silver and them did anything because of the media pressure and the optics.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ban this shit. Look, ban it league wide. If it's not good for your game, ban it league wide.
But I don't think, in my opinion, I don't even think it's worth banning though, because you have like, all right, Steph Curry or everybody's a shooter. And so that's what
Steph Curry do this. He don't do this.
Well, I mean, everybody, there have been other players in the league who give the guns, you know what I mean?
Yep, they
How
shoot
did
it.
LeBron
Yeah,
do? You know what I
yes,
mean? Like act like you
yes.
putting the gun back in the holster
Yep. And then they do the three. They do the three to the head. How they do it? Carmelo and all
yeah.
of those type stuff. I don't know. And the guns in the holster. Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know, man.
yeah, man.
I just think at this point, because a man had 2 prior incidents, you suspended him. He served his sentence. He took his punishment. Now you unfairly singling him out. You
Yeah.
are. Ain't no
Yeah.
way around it. You are. You know.
All right, let me ask you this.
Hmm?
So you think that he's been unfairly singled out because of his history? So
Yep.
his history shouldn't play a part in it?
Nope, not once you've already punished him. Once he served his time and he's came back and he hasn't done anything outside of the court, off the court, he hasn't done another incident like it, you're unfairly singled. So that's like saying a person can't grow, a person can't do better. You always gonna hold that against him.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me put it to you like this. Say if somebody has a history of abusing kids, right? And then so as a part of their, they get their punishment, then as a part of their background, like you can't work in a daycare center. You know what I mean? So once you pay your debt to society, there are still stipulations that go along with the infraction that you committed, right? So now you be like, all right, you did some things that involve kids and you paid your debt to society, but now, all right, you can't work at a daycare center. So is that you singling that person out?
No, you just said the magic word. It's some things that come as a part of your infraction.
Right.
So when you're talking about kids and you violating kids, you're gonna serve your punishment. And one of your punishments that's gonna come along with is you can't work around kids anymore.
Right. Right.
That's not what they're doing to Ja Morant.
Well, no, that's the same idea.
It's not the same idea. It's not the same idea. It's not.
And part of his situation is you can't be but
that's not language. That's not language that was part of his suspension. That wasn't language. But that's not part of his punishment. His punishment wasn't, I'm gonna suspend you some games. When you come back, you can't make no kind of gestures or any. That wasn't part of it. But when you are a person that violates a child, your punishment, that's part of it.
Yeah, but I mean, but the point I'm trying to make, right, is that you can kind of see why they don't want him, of all people, doing those gestures.
I can't see why. Yeah. You tell me why.
Well, because of his infractions that he had with the guns and stuff like that.
Did he ever shoot anybody? He just showed a gun, right?
He presents like, all right, because what it looked like is you are promoting a certain type of culture that the NBA do not want to be associated with.
Okay, stay right there. And if you do not want to be associated with that culture, no player should be throwing up gun signs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's so yeah, like I said, it's a
I get your point though. I get your point, but it's you at this point, and I'm not a Ja Morant apologist. He made some decisions. He's got to live with the circumstances. But no matter how the way the NBA wants to spin it, just because he had those 2 infractions, flashing a gun, you are now unfairly singling him out.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, I just want to see what they're
going to do. Yeah.
It's
crazy, man. Huh?
I just want to see who's going to blink first. If it's going to be Ja or if it's going to be
probably Ja.
Yeah.
Probably Ja. I don't know. Probably Ja. Who knows? But Ja said he don't care no more. That was his statement. Yeah, but I don't know. But I do think maybe during the off season, when they have league meetings and stuff, something might come out next year where they take those things out of the league.
Yeah, I just don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean?
No, I know you don't. Me as a person, I'm just saying, because they gotta have some kind of legal advice coming for the league itself. You got to have some kind of advice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. So,
If I was him, I would file a grievance on this fine. And I think I would have a leg to stand on.
He do have a leg to stand on, at least for right now. Yeah, because he doing the same thing everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just doing the pistol sign and now he doing the shotgun sign.
He's doing the shotgun sign. Hey.
That's a bigger gun.
Yeah, but you know, the NBA ain't got no problem with it when it's got young kids all around the country, hip hop culture gravitating to a sport and tuning in. They don't have no problem with it when they benefiting from it.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I'll see. We'll see.
I know. It's interesting, but yeah.
All right. So that second, now I don't know. Let me see. South Carolina and Texas. Did you get you see that game?
Yes.
I like that young lady. What's her name? Joyce Edwards.
Joyce Edwards. Yes.
And
yes.
She is tough. Yes.
I
like Joyce Edwards. She had a good game too, and I like that. Like South Carolina just wears on you.
He did.
You know, I was like, because I always said if South Carolina don't get off to a good start, you know, if somebody can just catch them out of the gate, maybe they won't be able to catch up. But the thing about it is they don't get rattled. They didn't, you know what I mean? Like if they don't start out, they just still don't get rattled because they know that they're going to wear on you.
South Carolina is an exceptional defensive team. They are exceptional.
Yeah.
You look at the scoring, it's balanced, you know. You know, nobody going for 30, very seldom. You know, you got solid in the team, so much contribution. You got good rebounding. You got good assist numbers as a team, good defensive stats. In the beginning, they were neck and neck all the way to halftime.
Yeah.
Like I said, Texas is more of a mirror image of South Carolina, but South Carolina, like you said, they will. And they just started pulling away. Third quarter, that's what they do. It's close, but then the third quarter is when they clamp down. Yeah. Fucking Texas only scored 9 points in the third quarter. That's the difference in the game right there.
Yeah.
That's how the old Chicago Bulls used to do it. When they went 72-10, they third quarter, that changes everything. You know, changes everything. So yeah, they're good. They're good, solid all-around team, great defensive team. And this girl, Fuwali, the things she can do coming off the bench, the way she can score the three and drive the lane and stuff, to have that coming off the bench.
Yeah, she is a great spark for them off.
She's a spark. Yes, she's a great spark.
Great spark from off the bench. I think but and remember, Fuwali is a sophomore. Do you think Fuwali's going to she probably will be starting next year because you got a couple, you got Pow. I think Pow is gone. Raven is gone. It's gonna be gone next year.
Okay. Yeah.
So Fuwali probably will start next year. But I like her coming off the bench though.
You know what else I like with South Carolina? Again, I didn't want to pick UConn, South Carolina. That's low-hanging fruit. And I really did believe in UCLA. But what I do love about South Carolina is the minutes. How she spreads the minutes. You don't have nobody on that team more than 27 minutes. Nobody's in the 30s and all that. Nobody's playing a whole bunch of minutes. So when you get late in the game, they can pull away. They can put that pressure on you because they're not fatigued. Fresh legs, and stuff like that. That's great. That's great coaching.
Yeah. And we got South Carolina going up against UConn. I think I'm looking forward to like the coaching matchup too, not just on the court, but the coaching matchup because UConn blew them out earlier this year.
Yep.
Yeah, they blew South Carolina out early season, right? So yeah. Man,
so what you looking for in the coaching matchup? What do you think? What do you think Gino's approach should be to South Carolina? And what do you think South Carolina's approach should be to UConn?
Well, I think that South Carolina, because they are on a defensive end, I think South Carolina is going to, they match up well with everybody across the board. So they don't have to double team anybody. What's the young lady? Sarah Strong. They don't have to double Sarah Strong. They don't have to double Paige Beckers. They're going to just play up straight up honest across the board on the one end, right? So I think, like how much of the and they won't even have to really use their bench or anything. I think like it's going to be like in-game adjustments on both coaches. That's really going to be I think it's going to determine like what the game is going to be like.
Okay. Well, what happened in the first meeting?
The first meeting, what happened was that UConn got out. They just got out ahead of them, and South Carolina, as they do sometimes, South Carolina got off to a slow start. And then that to me was the difference in the game,
Okay.
And I think somebody like Gino, like if you give him that type of advantage, they was able to run on it and they capitalized on some of the mistakes that South Carolina made. Yeah, but they just got out on them early and they was never able to recover.
I will say this about UConn. UConn has two elements to their team that they didn't have last year in the Final Four. Ozzie Fudd was hurt, so she didn't play. And then Sarah Strong.
Yeah.
So you've added something that you didn't have last year, so I don't know. And it's hard to repeat, it's hard to repeat now. And that's another reason why I didn't pick South Carolina to win it or to be in the championship. I had Notre Dame in the championship. I had Notre Dame, South Carolina meeting and Notre Dame bumping them, but Notre Dame took the loss, never made it to that round against South Carolina. But it's hard to repeat. Now, although it's hard to repeat, there's still so much to be said about experience, being there before. You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't really look at that when you face a UConn team because, like I said, they've been there 4 years in a row. So the game's not too big for them. But South Carolina, man, in that early matchup, yeah, they didn't get much. The girl Edwards did good. She had 29 minutes, but Powell had 10. Brees Hall had nothing. Bree Hall, I'm sorry. Raven Johnson, nothing. Bree Hall had 7. They really didn't get much production, but here again, the perimeter players for UConn, Fudd, 28.
Yeah.
Sarah Strong, 16. She played out of Paige only had 12, so she wasn't even really dominating, Yeah. But they was really efficient, Paige wasn't, but the other girls were real efficient. Yeah.
And they proved that even with Paige, if she have a subpar performance, UConn is still, they still hard to beat, even with Paige.
Because she ain't. Because to me, she's not what's making it all go. I know she's handling the ball and orchestrating things. She ain't what's making it go. Yeah. I think that girl Fudd is the key.
I like Fudd.
I think she's the key. Her and Sarah Strong, as a freshman, Sarah Strong don't play like one at all.
No. Gino said that she ready for the league right now.
Okay.
Freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's high praise from somebody, somebody who has seen.
I really believe that they really trying to. I know they're gonna come down to the play on the court, but I really think it's about trying to get Paige this championship.
Yeah,
I really do. UConn, Paige, I just
Yeah. I like Paige game though. Her mid-range game. When she come off those curls, and then she give you a move, and then she pull up on them wings. Yeah, I like Paige game.
I like her game a lot. I just think it's unfair for everybody to keep trying to hype her up to this astronomical thing. She's a great player. Just let her be that. Let her be what she is. She's a really solid player. I don't necessarily know. Depends on who getting the pick. I don't know if I want her number 1 in the draft. But ain't nobody coming out. Everybody going back in the portal. Flage, she's staying. You know what I mean? Olivia Miles, she leaving. And she leaving Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. You know, it's like she ain't going. You know, so I don't know. But I mean, I think Paige is quality. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know how explosive she is.
Yeah.
She's a solid basketball player.
Yeah, coming off the curls, like I said, and with her mid-range game, I think she's solid. She's solid. That is it. Yeah, she's solid. Yeah.
She's a solid player, and I ain't got nothing against that. I just get tired of the media, you know.
She's a solid player at a good, at a
good program. In a good program. So, who you think wins this?
I like South Carolina to win this, though.
Why?
Because they wear on you and their defense overall. You know what I mean? I just think that their defense. I do think that girl Fudd and Strong, they not gonna go down easy. You know, that's what I'm saying. Man.
Yeah, and they took a real beat. They took a beating earlier this year.
Yeah, then you got on the other end, you got Joyce Edwards, and then you got Malaysia Wiley. You know, so you're gonna get some offensive punch from both of those girls. Man, I just think that it's gonna be a tough game.
South Carolina, if they can't beat you with defense, they don't win.
Yeah.
You know? But they've been able to do that. They've been able to beat teams because they defensively they sound. Yeah. You know, they've been able to beat you with defense, but if they can't, they don't win.
Is this like a female Georgetown, like Georgetown was back in the day with John?
That's what they. Yep. That's exactly what they remind me of.
Like when they had Dave Wingate, Patrick Ewing,
Reggie Williams, Mike Graham. Yeah.
So they like a.
And John Thompson didn't care nothing about somebody scoring 30. It was defense. It was getting points off defense, transition, and then feeding the bigs inside. Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah.
And then and even like back then with Georgetown, you had every game you just had somebody offensively, somebody different every game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
until everybody left. Remember when everybody left? Then they was calling them Reggie and the Miracles. Remember?
Yeah.
That was dope. Yeah. But I want to go back to your point earlier with the UCLA game. UConn hit 18 3-point shots in that game. 18.
Yeah.
18. Yeah. They walked away from. Threes are bigger than twos. You know how many threes that UCLA hit?
I don't know.
Only 6.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, well, like I said, they played them. The fact that they did not have to double that young lady down in that paint was, you know what I mean? They just played honestly. And remember, you know, like the same thing. The Chicago Bulls used to do that. Like Chicago Bulls, they just refused. They never double team nobody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Patrick, they got what was the dude named Cartwright? Bill Cartwright, they got him because he was able to root Patrick Ewing out of that paint. You know, and you know, so if you don't have to double team, you can play man to man straight up with everybody. You know.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think most teams have to double bets. They choose to.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, whether they have to or choose to.
They choose to. They get too consumed with that. Like I said this about Larry Brown. I'm a big believer in. I'd have let Kobe beat me by himself. I wouldn't have doubled him. Because now you're making it easier for the team. You got a team full of solid players. They can knock down the shots.
Yeah.
Don't double them. You know, I wouldn't double Lauren Betts. I'd let her do what she do. She's not going to score 50. She's just not.
I remember.
She might give you the high 30s, 40s, but she ain't going to score 50.
I remember the Chicago Bulls. What was the guy? They was getting torched in a series by
who?
Mark Jackson at one series when Mark Jackson was with Indiana. I think Mark Jackson was abusing those guards. Paxson. He was abusing Paxson and BJ Armstrong. Put Scotty on him. And it was a wrap, you know what I mean? Because Mark Jackson used to post up those small guards. Mark Jackson was 6'5". He was bigger and taller than those guys. They put Scotty on him. And all that just cease and desist.
Well, that's understanding your personnel. Right. Now, when you look at a Scottie Pippen can move his feet. He can guard a guard, even though he's big and long. So you got to know your personnel too, you know? And like I said, I give Gino a lot of credit. He trusted his personnel. Every now and then they'll collapse on Lauren Beth, but it wasn't that much.
No, they didn't have.
Yeah, and they relied on their personnel. They really gave them girls on the perimeter a fit. They gave them a fit. Yes,
they did. Yeah, and so if they made them work, they was picking them up full court, and they was allowing them to make those easy interest passes. I expected the same thing from LSU. I was like, I don't know why they not pressuring the ball like that, you know. And so but so like I said, I do still like South Carolina though in that edge, like a slight edge. I'm gonna give it to South Carolina.
Well, Jim didn't won our pool because I can't score no more points. I'm done.
Yeah,
and I think Jim won because South Carolina in it. But I think UConn. I think it's about trying to get Paige this championship. I still think, and I said it last year, I was like, oh, it's too hard to go undefeated. South Carolina ain't going to win. It's too hard to go undefeated, and they did it. They went undefeated. I'm saying it's hard to repeat, so I'm going to get an edge to UConn, but I won't be surprised if South Carolina repeat. That's just what they do. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm going to go with UConn tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because they so badly, desperately trying to, you know, keep this. It's almost like UConn has so much favoritism in this NCAA world, even with the refs, the calls. But now he's going against his match because South Carolina got that favor too now. Yeah. You know, they're a powerhouse too, but I just think it's about Paige Beckers and trying to get her on this, you know, say she got a title and all this old stuff, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Even did you hear the narrative? They were talking about, oh, she only need this many points to be the all-time leading NCAA tournament score, over the tournament. Yeah. Well, Caitlin in the lead, and then you got Shamika Holdsclaw second, and Brianna Stewart. You know, you got people up there, but she is on the list. But she only needed a certain amount, but she only scored like 14 last night or something. So, you know, she would have to go out. She would have to go out against South Carolina scoring in the 30s to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if that happens, bro.
Yeah. Oh, well, how many points did she have yesterday?
I think only 14.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think she she only had like 14 points. Something like that. But anyway, man, it's gonna be interesting. I know you ain't gonna pick against your girl Dawn Staley. You ain't gonna pick against South Carolina.
Yeah, I like
I know.
Even though they lost earlier in the season to
right.
You know,
she scored 16 yesterday, Paige. That's all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they probably win it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina win it, but I think it's too hard to repeat.
It is hard.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. They beat
the Lakers the other night.
Yeah, they beat the Lakers the other night.
I saw your text. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah. They went.
You got excited about that, didn't you?
Man, I told you ever since they got they was 12. They've been 12-2 ever since they got Jimmy Butler.
They ain't played nobody. That might have been the first good win.
Yeah.
They ain't beat nobody, man.
To me, number one, they still playing NBA talent, number one. Number two is that you still got Steph, Draymond, and the coaching staff that got that championship pedigree. So they dangerous. That's a dangerous team.
Okay. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I'm not basing it on what they've done lately because they haven't played anybody.
They beat Denver last night, as a matter of fact.
They beat Denver last night? Okay. There you go.
They
Okay.
beat Denver last night.
Okay.
So, also,
Now,
the Lakers did win last night. The Lakers beat yesterday. The Lakers played a pretty good game too. Mike, do you know who the Lakers played last night? Okay. So the Lakers beat the Pelicans, right? But and LeBron and they look good yesterday. But yeah, man.
I'm gonna tell you who you give a lot of credit to right now. Steph Curry.
Huh?
Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
Oh yeah.
Steph Curry going off. Steph Curry going off.
He going off.
Yeah, he going off. But it ain't playoff basketball. Regular season, man.
Yeah.
They might listen, they got the pedigree. You're right. Jimmy Butler have been in the finals. Draymond got rings. Steph got rings. You got to play. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, they got that pedigree. They got that.
So that's who you got coming out the West? Golden State?
I think so. And the reason why I'm gonna tell you, and they also play defense. The weakest link on their team defensively is Steph Curry.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So other than that, you could surround him with 4 defenders and let him do what he do. And you can, and then on top of that, you can hide him. Now the Lakers, you have 2 people on the Lakers that you would have to hide. You gotta hide and you gotta hide LeBron. The court only but so, you know what I mean? It's only but so small. How you gonna hide 2 6'9", 6'10" dudes on the court, man? How you gonna hide both?
I don't know. I just think what's gonna come back to bite the Lakers is not having a real good big and the defense. That's gonna probably come back to haunt them.
If the Lakers had a rim protector with Luka and LeBron, and then you got a rim protector, all right,
it'd be a wrap.
Yeah, you could, But man, I seen Steph Curry go around Luka like he had on like cement boots. He gave him a hesitation that was so tough that he didn't have time to react, and Steph was laying it up. That's a shame when you shake somebody so tough that they couldn't react either way. You just gone, boom. Yeah, man. So and I do like out the West. I do like what I see in OKC, and I like Houston, right?
I knew you was gonna say that. OKC.
OKC, man. That dude, what's his name? Shea. He tough.
Yeah. Well, I watched him play. I only seen him play 2 games this year.
Yeah.
And he's a good talent, but I'm not blown away with OKC.
And they play defense, though. They play defense over there in OKC.
Okay.
What's gonna hurt them is they only have one superstar though. And that's him.
Well, yeah, but
one superstar.
I mean, but if you got players that's playing their role and contributing, I don't know if you need more than one superstar. Like I still to this day don't think the Bulls had more than one superstar. I don't think Scotty was a superstar to me.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't.
You don't think Scotty was a superstar?
I don't. No.
He wasn't a scorer to the level that what Mike was, right? But defensively, Scotty was elite.
Yeah.
Scotty defensively was elite. Then on top of that, Mike drew the double team. So if you double team Mike, somebody else is going to be open. So Scotty didn't have to be. Mike made Scotty a superstar.
That's why I said he wasn't one, but he was a great player. He was a great role player. He was so versatile. He had such ability. He was an elite defender, and they used it well. The Bulls used Scotty well.
So, all right. So do Shea have a Scotty beside him then?
See, I haven't seen him enough.
That's what they're gonna need. They got some other great defenders on that team. So as a team, they can defend. But do they have somebody who is like a Swiss Army knife, like what Scotty was? Scotty did everything.
You tell me. Do they?
No. No, they don't have like basically. They don't. Yeah.
Right.
They don't. But I do like Houston also in the West.
I
like Houston.
I'm not sold on them either. They had a great year though. I'm not sold on
I
them.
don't think they're gonna do nothing, but they just got a lot of talent over there.
Hey, if Kawhi stay healthy, don't sleep on the Clippers. I'm trying to tell you, don't sleep on the Clippers.
I agree. Because Kawhi got that pedigree.
And he lighting it up right now.
He is.
Yep. And they got Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons helps them, huh?
Harden is not playing bad either, though.
He's not playing bad either.
I'm not really impressed with Ben Simmons, though.
Well, it's not. He's fitting in good with that team. It ain't about him being the. Come on, man.
So he's Kawhi is making Ben Simmons look,
I just say the team. You just see what they did to Dallas yesterday?
No, what they do to Dallas?
114-91.
Oh, they went to work on him.
They went to work on him.
Yeah, they went to work.
Yeah. And Kawhi only played 24 minutes, cruising. 20 points, 6 boards, 24 minutes.
I want to see a healthy Kawhi in the playoffs. Kawhi do damage,
huh?
Kawhi do damage. Oh, let me see. I had somebody sent me real quick. Somebody sent a post, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who they want to know? Who do you think is a better player, Kawhi Leonard or Dominique Wilkins?
Kawhi Leonard's a better player. Dominique was a lot more explosive, right? He could fill it up like crazy, but I don't think Dominique is the two-way player that Kawhi is.
He not. And as much as what I mean, that's my era right there, right?
Yeah.
That's my era. As much, Dominique is not a two-way player like Kawhi. Number one, and even at the offensive end, I think Kawhi is a better scorer than like Dominique is. He was like a highlight.
He was a highlight, and he was streaky. When he got hot, he was hot.
Because if you're right. Dominique get hot, and you know what I mean. He was streaky, but if you didn't allow him to get the big dunk, and you took certain things away from him. In my opinion, it's easier on the offensive end to stop Dominique than it is to Kawhi, because Kawhi gets certain spots on the court, and it's like that's automatic.
And with Dominique, it's a tall task. But all you had to do with Dominique is take his right hand away, force him left,
make him go left,
make him
shoot for certain areas on the court where he's not coming.
Yeah. But he did improve his jump shots over the years. He did improve. Yeah. He did. I give him credit for that. But I would force him left. Yeah.
Yeah, but they sent me this. Somebody asked me like Kawhi Leonard or Dominique Wilkins, and I'm like, Kawhi, man, is just two-way ball player, and then at the offensive end, I would think a good question would be Kawhi Leonard versus Joe Johnson. I like both of their games. You remember Joe Johnson?
Yeah. I still give the edge to Kawhi.
Yeah.
He's such a two-way machine, man. And then I would plug those guys into that Toronto team. Now, you could say KD, the Achilles, that's why they got the title, but do they even take that Toronto team to the finals? Any of those other guys?
Joe Johnson or nah, I think Kawhi. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Joe Johnson mean though.
He mean. Yeah.
Excellent player. Yeah.
But
Kawhi, let me tell you something. Kawhi brought me back to the NBA for a minute. When he was in Toronto, that Toronto run, oh my God, I was his biggest fan. And then when he went to LA Clippers, I was excited for them. And then all this other stuff started happening. And I left it again. So he brought me back a little bit.
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, but their two games like kind of mirror each other. But Kawhi is just a step higher than in my opinion.
And I don't like Kawhi's shot, but he's so effective. It's like he shoot line drives. I do not like his shot, but he can shoot. You know what I mean? Like
his footwork. People don't see
his footwork.
He can elevate he get to a certain spot on there, and He shoot a line drive shot and it's soft, but you can't. It's hard for you to block it because he go up like you off balance. He can jump off of either foot. So yeah.
And I think the Clippers can be disruptive in the playoffs. They can send somebody home.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want to be an early round matchup. I get it. If I'm any of the top teams, you know.
Yeah.
But they not far from the top. What they 45 and something?
Yeah, I think they do have like 40-something wins.
Let me see. Yeah, they 45 and 32. They in the 7th place. They in the 7th seed right now.
Yeah.
That West thick, man.
It's tough.
Shit. The 8th seed, 45 wins.
Yeah, it's only like what 3 games that separate like
Yeah.
The top
shit.
team. Like,
but yeah, between 8th and 3rd, the Lakers, there's only 2 games for the most part. Wow, it's thick. It's thick. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch that play. I don't know who I got coming out the West. I still like Denver though, but I don't know, man.
Just ain't no. See, all right. Before you go, when we was talking about the Joker and
yeah, on the text,
on the text. Now, I just think that the Joker, like in this era, I don't know if Shaq will be able to play because like they have rendered his position obsolete. So Shaq would be able to play in the era like this era. Do you think so? Like he need a point guard, number one, and so you barely even have any point guards in the league, like pass first point guards who know how to run an offense.
If I'm a GM, I'm building a team around Shaq in this era because it's soft. You think he dominated back when he played?
Hell yeah, he had dominated.
Who would stop Shaq? Shaq can fuck around and score 60 a game in this era without shooting free throws. Well, so I would build my team around him.
Yeah,
ain't nobody gonna stop that.
They will have. They're not doing that in this era though. You know what I mean? Like they don't have no power forwards. I would do the same thing if you was allowed to do that. I would have power. I would bring back like the 5 positions: the power forward, the small forward, and build and have somebody like Shaq. Yeah, he'll dominate.
Yes,
but
I would not forsake Shaq. I don't care what era I'm playing in, and that don't mean I think he's one of the top 5 centers. But I would not forsake this guy.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. His agility and how big he was and strong. It's just you gotta take that.
You gotta foul him.
yeah, you gotta take that. Yeah. But I was just saying about the Joker, you know, I just think it's a little unfair to say that, you know, because for one, that Denver team is not all that to me. They're pretty good. Yeah. But the Joker got a skill set, man, that I think in any era you put him in, he'll be able to play and he'll be a great player.
I don't think he could do nothing with Pat, David, Hakeem, and all them. I don't think he
Pat Ewing can't do, in my opinion, Pat Ewing can't do shit with the Joker. Now, the Dream, yes. Pat can't do nothing with the Joker. Name another center.
Any of those centers, give me any of those centers from that era.
They can't do nothing with the Joker.
The Joker, Clayton, the Joker don't even play defense. And then on the offensive end, he wouldn't be effective because he can't.
He does play defense, man.
Oh my goodness. Nah. All right. The Joker now playing in this day and age, he has a built-in advantage. And it's just his size. He playing against smaller guards. He playing against number 2. He playing against 2 guards.
The Joker?
The Joker.
So what do he do when he go up against Anthony Davis? Dominate him. What do he do when he go up against Giannis and all these other centers? What do he do?
Giannis, them dudes not centers.
That's the position they playing, bro.
And Anthony Davis don't even want to play center.
I'm just saying, what does he do against them guys?
I'm saying, like this, he not facing no centers though, Clayton. Ain't no centers in the league.
I'll say this.
In the NBA.
I'll say this. Those centers back, like Pat Ewing and them guys back there, like Dream, yeah, they don't have the agility to stay in front of the Joker at all.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in the in that era, he would not be able to deal with them guys, man.
I think he would, bro.
In that era,
And he gonna bring him away, and he gonna stretch him. He gonna bring him out from the basket.
That'll be here.
All Pat Ewing wanted to do was shoot jump shots. What are we talking about?
Man, Pat Ewing had a nice little mid-range game, and so all right. If Pat Ewing was comfortable, if the Joker took Pat away from that basket, Pat could stay in front of him because Pat was comfortable moving like that.
Man, the Joker footwork around that basket, the subtleties, the head fakes, the moves, the footwork.
Right, let me ask you this. Do you think the Joker had better footwork than Kevin McHale?
I think it's very comparable. But McHale is a forward, but I think it's very comparable. Yes.
Yeah, McHale was a dancer, Jack.
He was, but I think you're not really paying attention to the Joker's game.
I gotta look at the dope. I gotta check out the Joker's footwork because Kevin McHale's footwork.
It was impeccable.
Man.
It was impeccable. You're right. But the Joker's, it's on a level. It's on a level, bro.
And just like I said, right? I just think that the Joker don't dominate in a league in an era that is softer than what they was back then.
Well, how much more dominating do he have to do? How many MVPs has he won?
I'm talking about championships. I want him to win. Well, show me more than one championship.
But you can't put that on the Joker. Like I said in the text, he can't play all 5 positions at the same time.
Yeah.
To ensure a title.
Man. I mean, like Hakeem.
Come on,
man,
bro. Huh?
When Hakeem was dominant, when Hakeem was going through that West, he was giving it to Karl Malone, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, all them dudes, man. Shaq.
Yes.
Yeah,
but why did Houston win those 2 titles? Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell, Vernon Mack, all them players around him as well. Dream is Dream is my all-time #1 center to have a play. But I don't give all those titles to him because of him. No.
Yeah, I mean, he shared a wealth. But I mean that when you got somebody, and that's Kenny Smith even said, he was like, we just had somebody on our team who was unstoppable.
Yeah, he was unstoppable.
And he said, Kenny Smith said, we wish we had met up with Chicago, Mike and them. He said,
that's what he said.
Yeah. We wish we had met Mike and them. We had somebody who was unstoppable, and y'all had somebody who was unstoppable.
Yeah, because if they would have won a title, then it gave it more validity. But but I'll say this: the Joker is unstoppable.
Yeah,
he's unstoppable. But he just don't have the players around him to constantly take advantage of that and elevate them. Bro, how's he not dominating? He done won 3 MVPs.
Yeah,
and an NBA championship.
Hey, and is the Joker a 2-way ball player?
Yes.
Yeah.
He might not be the best defender of all time as far as centers, but he definitely plays defense.
Yeah.
The Joker mean, man. Man.
This era right here, you know what I mean? I give him,
Okay.
Yeah. But for now on, I just want to refrain from.
And granted, the era was thicker, but the things that Biggs was able to do was less. If you take this guy's ability as a big, the footwork and all that stuff he does, the assists, the way you see the court, the IQ, and you put it back there, the only one that probably can bump with him would be Dream.
Nah, I think man,
Robert Parrish wouldn't be able to do nothing. I know he was older. Shaq wouldn't been able to do nothing with him. The only person Shaq had to guard that might have stepped out a little bit was Dirk Nowitzki. It's about the only one. And he wasn't thick down on the blocks.
Shaq, yeah, Dirk to me.
Wasn't he a center?
Yeah, no, well, Dirk to me played more like a 3.
But he was a center though, right?
Yeah, probably by position, by you know what I mean, by Yeah, I think Dirk was probably, but his game was more like a 3 than a 4 or a 5.
Because those guys can step out and shoot.
Yeah.
But Joker can do what Dirk did, and he can play on the blocks.
Yeah.
And he got a mid-range, Mike.
I would have loved to have seen Dirk. I think he would have got lost in the mix with those guys.
No
I don't know.
way.
He might. I mean, because I think Kevin McHale, in my opinion, Kevin McHale wasn't no ball handler. Kevin McHale had good footwork and was excellent passer. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I just
if Kevin McHale can do what he did in that era, the Joker can do it.
I don't know, Jack.
McHale was mean though. Don't get me wrong. The footwork impeccable. Dog, the dude had 30 points, 20 boards, and 20 assists in a game. You ever see his passes and his subtlety and the moves and this what Dirk, you know what Joker is? He's a technician. He's a technician. You know? Yeah, he wouldn't be able to fuck with Dream though.
No.
Yeah, Dream would have had something for him, but yeah, I ain't got. Look, I love Pat Ewing. Same name some of them other centers back in the day.
Pat, David
Robinson wouldn't have been able to do nothing with Joker.
What about Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan was a forward, right?
Yeah.
Tim would have been able to give him some resistance, but they would have went back and forth at each other a little bit.
What about Karl Malone? Karl Malone forward too, right?
Forward, yeah, he's forward. So you're talking about
Karl Malone was 6'9". He
6'10", something like that. Yeah.
I mean, Karl Malone was strong, but he just, I don't know if he was I don't know.
Yeah, I ain't got now who had Indiana had the McCray boys or something?
The Dale and
Davis boys, the Davis boys. That's one of them played center, right? Yeah, they would have probably gave Joker a whole bunch of physicality and some resistance. But they might have gotten his ass.
Schmitz, I think Rick Schmitz was the center.
Oh, Schmitz was, he wouldn't have been able to do nothing with the Joker. No.
Yeah, no, Schmitz, no.
Yeah.
Schmitz wouldn't have been able to do nothing with the Joker.
Nothing with the Joker.
Yeah.
Bill Cartwright. Who backed Bill Cartwright up? Whittington and Purdue.
Remember Edwards at Detroit? Big Paul.
Yeah, Edwards. He wouldn't have been able to do nothing with the Joker.
Man, I just don't think.
Duckworth for Portland wouldn't have been able to do nothing with the Joker.
I don't think in that era you would have him. He'd be a power forward. That would be the safest thing for him.
Nah, with that skill set, if you're a basketball mind and a good coach, you see that skill set, you will understand I got a mismatch. I'm going to play him in a position that creates an automatic mismatch. Yeah. I'm not taking him out of that position. That becomes a weapon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bill Lambier wouldn't have been able to do nothing with him. Man, them guys wouldn't have been able to do nothing with Joker, man.
It's just hard for me to see him in that era.
Moses might have punked him if he'd have played in the Moses era. Moses would have punked him.
See, when you got Mahorn, you got Rick Mahorn and Bill Lambier, that's the same thing they do.
They wouldn't have been able to punk him, though. Yeah. They didn't do what Moses did.
I don't think nobody really, like the Joker and where he come from, I don't think nobody would have been able to punk him, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. He ain't phased by a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
No, heck no. And you know, I was telling Mikey that him and his brothers, they the real deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I don't think nobody would have punked the Joker.
Yeah, they got hard. But yeah, I just watch what he do, man. I don't know. I mean, the only way to tell is to actually do it, but
yeah.
I just think that guy's skill set. He ain't no little guy. He's strong. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You know? Shit. It's been fun to watch. So, Final Four tonight.
Let me see who I got.
I know who you got. You got Houston beating Duke, and you got Auburn, right?
Yeah. Houston beating Duke and Auburn. Yeah.
I got Duke beating Houston, and I got Auburn.
Yeah.
And Jim got Florida beating Auburn, and I think he got Duke.
He did. Oh yeah, he did say he had Duke. Yeah, he did say he had Duke.
So we can still get them.
Yeah.
If Florida get knocked off tonight, got a shot. Yeah. You jumped up there. You came out of nowhere, man, and just
a couple upsets, and
I'm just shocked all number ones made the Final Four. That's why I said they removed Cinderella from the dance, man. This time we in now, number ones is going to roll a lot because everybody, jumping the portal, go join the powerhouse, stuff like that. So, yeah. Yep. So, Hooper flag.
I think his run stops tonight, though. You know what I mean?
You think Cooper run stops tonight? That's what's up.
Run stop tonight.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
I just think it's about him. He the face of college basketball. Yeah, I think it's all about him.
I mean, he's the most popular person in college basketball right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could be,
Yep.
And don't get me wrong.
Huh?
So don't get me wrong.
He legit. He can play. Yep. And I think Cooper flag makes people tune in. I ain't saying he's got hysteria like, Jordan or nothing, but he's the most recognizable face and everything else. And I think it's people tuning in to watch him play.
And that program, you know what I mean?
Program. Yep. And the program has that mystique. So, yeah. I think Duke will be in the national championship game.
Yeah. Me and Mikey get ready to go to the
where y'all going?
We'll go to probably to Buffalo Wild Wings or somewhere and watch these games.
Y'all going there to watch the game?
Yeah.
Well, y'all enjoy yourself. I'll probably be asleep.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to watch. It don't come on CBS tonight.
It don't?
I was looking, it don't show CBS.
Oh, okay.
So if it ain't on CBS, I probably won't be able to watch it anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna
I have to watch the rerun before we go live tomorrow. Yeah, man. It's been cool, man. I enjoyed the conversation, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But you're gonna leave my girl Lauren Bess alone.
Oh, Mikey said CBS. The first one come on at 6:09.
On CBS?
Yeah. That's
that's what's up. I'm glad, man.
Yeah. 6:09 the first game.
I might be able to catch that. Who first? Duke late.
Duke first or late? Duke late. Florida Auburn in the first game. Florida and Auburn.
I don't even want to watch that game, to be honest with you.
Auburn. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I guess tomorrow, man. I guess you're gonna talk about the games tomorrow.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
Okay. It's been cool, man. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get back to my, my little bubble.
All right. I appreciate it.
It's all love, man. It's all love. Urban Platform Nation.
Yeah.
One love.
Yeah, no doubt. Make sure
get them subs up.
Yeah. Over 10,000 now. Now the next mission is 15.
15. Yeah, you gotta pump them, man. Pump them out. You pumping a lot of product out. I know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Get a lot of content out.
Yeah. It's all good though. But yeah, man. Till we talk again, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, and I talk to you tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Y'all enjoy them games, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we will.
Okay.
All right, Clay.
Okay, you over 10-1. All right.
Yeah. 10,100 and something.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
All right.
Peace out.
All right, man. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Make sure to like and subscribe. And also don't forget to leave a comment and tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Sunday at 11 a.m. and we're gonna be talking about the men's Final Four and the upcoming championship game. With that being said, we are out and peace.